Bear Grylls is an adventurer, television presenter, author, businessman and philanthropist. He's as comfortable on the red carpet as he is in the wild and is a natural communicator with everyone, from children to royalty.
This is Patrick and this is Sophie. Is that right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? Other way around. I know, I'm just teasing you.
Bear holds a number of projects close to his heart, including being Chief Scout in the Scout Association, a role that sees him inspire young adventurers everywhere.
It's about bridging that those cultural divides and making friendships for life and understanding we're part of this global family.
And now he's co-founded his own initiative he hopes will inspire more, BecomingX.
People that you remember in life are the ones that tell you the best stories.
BecomingX is a company that aims to inspire by sharing stories from some of the world's most successful people.
I want to matter. I want to feel like I've had purpose. How can I do that?
I don't think I thought about what I wanted to do when I grew up.
A stripper danced at a nightclub.
But really, I only had one goal in life, and that was to play for England.
It seemed like I might be able to do this.
If you know what, the Olympic Games could be within my reach.
BecomingX also has an education arm. Over 100 digital classes are offered via BecomingX Education with the aim to help teach personal development. I caught up with Bear Grylls on the sidelines of this year's Goals House January Dialogues. Bear, it's lovely to see you. Tell me about BecomingX. What inspired you to establish this initiative? I know you launched it at the end of last year, and tell me about the impact it's had already.
Yeah, it's been an amazing thing to see, take off and for people to get excited about. But really, it's a global learning and development initiative to really help people kind of understand what it takes to be able to get ahead in life. And I think young people are facing a tougher time than ever before, as you know, through all of this pandemic. And the goal of BecomingX is to try and, I guess, almost like demystify what it takes to succeed. It's almost like the stuff that they don't teach you always in school. And to do this, we've interviewed some of the most inspiring and iconic people on the planet and try to get the sort of behind the scenes of what has really made the difference in their life, what didn't they learn at school, what did they wish they'd learned when they were young, and what's really helped them to reach their kind of summits in their life.
What did you feel was missing, though, Bear, from the current global education systems that this would fill the gap with?
Well, I think, education is always sort of something that always feels like it's such a big beast. It's always going to be the slowest beast to adapt and to change. And I look back to, my time in school and, even though we're so lucky in the West and we have such great education, really, it also felt there were so many gaps. And I think that gap for young people today, even pre-pandemic and now with the pandemic, I think that gap in real life learning skills has just got kind of bigger and bigger. And so many of the things that have helped me so much in life, I've learned in truth through failure, and I've kind of learned through life and thinking, God, I wish I'd learned that the easier way rather than by mistakes. And it's the sort of stuff like, how to really develop a great attitude, how to be a great team player, how to have strong relationships, how to deal with practical stuff like bullies or social media, or how to start businesses, or all of this sort of stuff that I feel, and again, it's a reaction to so many people saying to us as well that this stuff isn't taught enough to young people.
Well, some of the names you've picked, you've got Julia Roberts, Roger Federer, Channing Tatum, to name but a few. Do you feel that young people will relate to them or just look at them and think, well, they're successful now anyway, and is it a step too far for them to get there?
Yeah, the thing is, they weren't always successful, and that's the point. And I think also so much of traditional education is like linear learning. It has to be through a book and through tests and through exams and through numbers, and and as we're learning about humans and how we develop, we don't always learn like that, and I think so many young people today learn in such fast, different ways, but through visual stimulus. And so what we've done is create amazing, short, iconic, inspiring films, interviewing some of these people. But it's not just Hollywood stars. You know, it's everyone from astronauts to humanitarians to the world's best teachers to sports stars to, you know, all sorts of people, to soldiers, and said, what has really helped you in your life? And I think what was so powerful about these films and why there's been such a huge take up, you know, when we started putting some of them out there and the reactions being so positive, is that it's very raw and it's very candid and it's very much kind of these stars' struggles and doubts and how they walk through those challenges and failures to eventually get to the good stuff. And, you know, I love the bit with Roger Federer, you know, who we look at as the world's greatest tennis player to have ever lived. And we think it's all talent, you know, but he said to us, he said on his first ever professional match when he was a teenager, you know, he got absolutely smashed, 6-love, you know, and you think most mere mortals would kind of think, I've picked the wrong sport, you know, and I never knew that about him. But it's like, how do you find a way through these things? How do you stay true to a vision? How do you, you know, encourage young people to go for it in life and to understand the role of failure and to learn how to tackle obstacles and to not listen to dream stealers? And this is a real life stuff that not just young people, but all of us need day to day. It's that inspiration to, as I said, try and demystify what it takes to succeed.
Well, Bear, you started this initiative pre-pandemic. Now that we're in the middle of it, how much more important do you feel this is, these kind of inspirational stories? And what would you say to young people around the world who are facing economic downturns, facing COVID-19 within families?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's never been harder, you know, and we started this before the pandemic with the realization that, you know, it has never been tougher to be a young person. You know, the competition and the pace of life and the outside pressures and you know, how do you get the stuff that really helps you? And then COVID comes along and it just makes those hills and those obstacles in front of young people now into giant mountains. And, you know, we're just trying to do something good and trying to help young people to say, as you get out and start to tackle life, here's some stuff to put in your arsenal. Here's some weaponry to help you, you know, on that journey. But it is, you know, you're right, it's never been a tougher time. And that kind of divide and that gap in education actually has never been bigger. And, you know, we're trying to sort of bridge that and level the playing field a bit by providing these free films and these resources to really help empower young people with the skills they need.
And of course, mental well-being is been hugely challenging within the lockdowns around the world. Bear, what from your own personal journey, you had a very challenging time when you broke your back, when your parachute didn't open. What did you tell yourself then, and what would you advise to tell people now about overcoming mental and physical challenges?
Well, first thing, as you know, life is full of hard stuff, you know, and I love that quote that says, you know, all the good stuff is on the other side of pain. You know, you can't run from the difficult things. You know, if you're going to get to your goals or to succeed, whatever that means to you, you're going to have to go through some difficult stuff. And this is the things that can help you. But for me, again, I've learned so much of this through making mistakes and getting things wrong. And, you know, and I look back to what has helped me overcome something like breaking my back. Actually, it was the stuff that you might not imagine. You know, it's the simple things, having, you know, a real dream, something to give you hope day by day, whatever that is. It's a value of friendships and family. It's a value of being able to express yourself and to be honest and share stuff with people, you know, and there's only one failure, which is giving up, you know, and so much of school education I felt was always about avoiding failure, because failure makes people seemingly vulnerable, but actually it's the only way we reach anywhere meaningful. And I think, you know, school all too often celebrates the natural heroes, you know, the sporty or the academic person. But actually life doesn't really care about those stuff. Life actually rewards the resilient person. So even though the little kid Johnny might not get picked for anything, he might not get picked for any teams, or he's overlooked for all the stuff and he fails all of his exams, but he's trying. He's actually going to leave school better equipped than maybe the superstar, because he's got the one muscle that really matters, this inside muscle rather than the outside one. So I think what I've learned is that success isn't something people are born with. And all of these films with the people we interviewed, it's the same thing, that success has been hard won, but the things that have made the difference are often the unlikely things, and it's rooted in resilience and never giving up and staying true to your vision and not getting distracted and not listening to the naysayers and the dream stealers, and learning how to overcome those failures and those setbacks. And these are the sort of principles and the stuff that BecomingX really highlights, but it does it through inspiration, through interviewing all these people, hearing their really raw, candid stories and saying, look, if I can do this, you guys can do so much more. And come on, let's level up this playing field and let's demystify what it takes to get ahead. And here you go.
Well, talking about getting ahead, Bear, you've had huge success with all your television series that take place around the world. Running Wild, you did one with President Obama. Do you feel that President Trump would be a good candidate for that?
Hey, I think The Wild is always the great leveler, isn't it? It doesn't care who we are. It's been a privilege. I've taken some, amazing people from all walks of life. We took Prime Minister Modi recently as well of India, which was amazing. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I doubt Trump would probably want to do that. I think certainly in the world, you got to make yourself vulnerable and get out of your comfort zone. And some people like that, some people don't like that. But what I love about The Wild is it brings people together, and that's the great magic of it. And it's the great magic of what the Scouts do in their great stuff that obviously, I champion a lot. And all of this is trying to empower young people. But ultimately, The Wild is a great empowerer, and I love that.
So what advice would you want to give to global leaders to help?
Yeah, I think, listen, leadership is everything. And the truth is we're all leaders in our own way, whether you're, an example to other kids in your class or whether you're leading a football team or whatever, we're all leaders. And, leadership, I think one of the most important thing in leadership is integrity. You've got to know that the person you're following truly has your back and not just their back. And it's this thing of, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I love that. And I look at leaders that have really influenced me over the years, whether it's been in the military or on big expeditions, it's often those you really trust, and I do think this thing about for global leaders to seek out integrity and to seek out humility is just as important as having clear vision and determination and courage. But true courage is often rooted actually in humility. And I hope the real leaders of tomorrow will, be leaders that lead ultimately with integrity and humility and with courage.
Well, you also traveled the world and spent a lot of time in its great natural landscapes. How have you personally seen the impact of climate change and the need for sustainability to help achieve the targets of the UN Global Goals by 2030? Do you have hope for that?
Yeah, these UN Global Goals are there for a purpose because they are the most pressing things facing our planet at the moment, whether it's, climate change or tackling poverty or in the BecomingX example, tackling education. And, it's been amazing seeing the uptake with young people. I mean, I look at my role as Chief Ambassador of World Scouting. We've now got 45 million scouts around the world, and they've taken it on as what they want to champion, which is contributing millions of volunteering hours towards the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And it's amazing. And I've always felt change and healing for our planet will always come through young people, whether it is closing that poverty gap or the education gap or solving climate change. And it's very inspiring to see sort of people taking that up. But certainly for us, the BecomingX side of things is trying to contribute towards this education aspect of the Sustainable Development Goals and trying to level the playing field for kids. So wherever they come from, whatever their background, you can learn some of the tools that can help you to get ahead in life.
And how important is it for you and for BecomingX to take part in the Goals House Summit?
Well, the Goals House Summit is another an incredible sort of tool to help, bring people together and inspire people with positive messages. So, anything that does that, I'm always proud to champion. And I think the climate change thing has never been more pressing. I've seen the hard, ugly side of the effects of climate change close up. I've seen it in terms of terrain as well as wildlife, but also, most importantly, the impact it has on vulnerable communities around the world. And, the young people don't debate whether climate change is happening. Our generation and older people debate about, is it happening? What are the causes? Young people don't debate the causes of climate change. They know the causes of climate change. They want to find solutions. And, this summit is all about that, trying to spread inspiration, bring people together and find those solutions from the inside out.
And just finally, Bear, what is your hope, your vision for BecomingX going forward and the world that you want your 3 sons to grow up in?
Yeah, I think the whole vision of BecomingX is leveling up, is empowering young people wherever they are in the world, whatever their background, that they can be equipped with the tools to succeed. And it's demystifying that thing of what it takes to succeed. And as we see it get taken up more and more in schools and universities and companies and graduate training schemes, and and then linking it to poorer schools in different countries. And it's all about bringing people together with that positive kind of message and teaching the stuff they don't always teach at school.
Bear Grylls, thank you so much for your time today. We wish you luck with the project.
Tania, you're amazing. Take care. Bye.